I am still in a state of shock that this was not a censored scene. Like, how is this not censored? Like, the amount of seductive power that Frieren has here is just astronomical. It's off the charts. It's legit off the charts. And it's perfect. Like, legitimately, it's perfect. Oh my goodness. So, let's just get right into this, okay? So, first things first, as a disclaimer, I said this a few weeks back, but I want to say this once again. Everything that's currently going on within the anime, I'm anime only now. Like, for instance, the anime has surpassed where I was at in the manga. For instance, as far as I read in the manga was the Aura versus Frieren fight. And then after that, I caught up with the manga and then I just stopped reading from there. And so, obviously, there's been a lot more content. And so now I'm completely an anime only, have no idea what to expect. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm pretty shocked about this episode. For one, the fact that we have another party member. The fact that this guy right here is literally going to be a priest traveling with our group of characters is just legitimately awesome. I mean, it makes sense that they eventually would have had to get a priest, because, I mean, their team is kind of not really balanced at the moment. I mean, they have, like, a warrior frontline tank. They got obviously a mage, and then they got another mage. They don't have, like, a healer, which is, like, a very important person in a party. Like, anyone that, is an adventurer, traveling around and all that, being, a healer, having a healer is probably one of the most important, because eventually you're going to encounter a creature or a boss or something that's going to have poison. They're going to poison you, and you're going to have something that's just going to straight up kill you no matter how strong you are. And so having them recruit a priest, I'm pretty happy about this, to see a new cast member a part of the group and kind of seeing how they interact with these group of characters, because we got to look at it like this, okay? When you look at, our current cast, like we're looking at, Frieren, we're looking at, Fern, and we're looking at Stark, those characters, they all have this perfect synergy. For instance, you have Fern, that's that very stern character, someone that likes to keep the group in check, even though she's obviously a closet pervert. You have Stark, that's a very naive, like, muscle-headed boy that just, he fights, he hits really hard, and, he could definitely be led astray in different ways, but he's pretty innocent for the most part. And Frieren, she is obviously a granny, but she, at the same time, is just, she gives off this impression of indifference, or, like, she's not really there sometimes because of just, like, how she is. Her very personality is, but she has these very cute moments that perfectly interact with the other cast members. And so when you look at them just in a group, they just seem like, if you didn't know Frieren's age, obviously, and that wasn't the main theme of the story, you would assume that they're all around the exact same age. So when you throw in this new character that is going to be joining, he basically is like this adultish figure within the group. He's going to have more of an adult outlook on life, a more pessimistic look, and he's going to see kind of everything in a way that the other characters are not. And I feel like he will bring a nice, I guess, cohesive, like, strong, like, character. Like, he will perfectly synergize with the cast, and I think that's great. I like what I saw from his character thus far. Now, let's talk about something about him. So, he is a priest character, and one of the things that this episode wants to obviously show is that Frieren and him are very similar. There is a lot of similarities here, and Frieren, basically, her entire objective or motive throughout this episode is to recruit him, or at the very least cause him to be an adventurer. If he won't join them, she wants him to be an adventurer, and the reason for this is because of his backstory. For instance, there was at one point in time, 10 years ago, that he had a friend that offered for him to be an adventurer. He turned it down, obviously, and we found out the circumstances at the end of the episode, but he turned it down, and it's very clear by his interactions and just how he is that he has some regrets, and the longer time goes on, the more time that passes, that regret is just only going to amplify. And he's going to have his life, at the end, he's going to just feel very upset that he decided not to venture out and see the world. So Frieren, obviously being very well aware of this, noticing this, and kind of from her own experience of just how time is, she straight up tells him, like, look, it's only been 10 years, and you need to do something before it's too late. And I like that. It's like, Frieren's talking from experience, giving advice to this other person that's literally just like her to not just throw away time, go and do what you want to do. I love that. It's very cute, and it synergizes perfectly between these two characters to have some common understanding and ground between them to understand what each other actually wants in life. It's great. Like, really great storytelling on display here with Frieren and this character, and I hope to see more of this as the story progresses. Now, if we push aside all of that for a second, though, I also do like how the character is kind of like, Heater, hopefully I'm saying his name right. Basically, what I mean is that, Heater was a priest, as we know, that wasn't necessarily fully, like, a quote-unquote priest material. He had a lot of corruption to him, so to speak. I mean, even Frieren basically said it continuously, and seeing how our new character is, like, he gambles, he loses his clothes, he drags Stark kind of into it, he has that characteristics of, like, a troublemaker, or, he's a delinquent, so to speak, which also is very good, because the group does need that. The group needs a character that will cause some trouble here and there, or get them into situations because they just can't help themselves. I do like that as well, and seeing the similarities there, and I think one of the big reasons why Frieren wanted to recruit him too, was because she realized that he was a good person, but he has a lot of flaws, and that she wants someone like that in her group. But all of these characters, not just Frieren, has flaws. Like, from her original party, they legitimately all clearly had flaws, to just, like, how we have characters teaching them, or their students, like, things that obviously don't work. Like, if we think about Frieren's master, and how she's like, oh, you see this potion? Guys really like this and all that, and, it dissolves clothes. Just everything about certain things that our characters teach each other, they're very flawed, and they're passed down to the next generation, and there's obviously some commentary on that, just how, like, things are passed on to the next generation that are not necessarily true or right, but it can lead into its just own problems in the future. It's very funny, and I love how Frieren tackles a lot of these different subjects. It tackles things like, obviously flaws within characters, and so most of our characters within this story are not perfect. They all have problems. Like, obviously, if we're taking a look at Fern is a character, she's not true to herself. It's very clear she is a pervert. She's just very she puts herself in the closet and hides that fact, and so the way she treats everyone else around her, she always believes they think exactly what she thinks when they're not, but she is, and so she has clear flaws that she just doesn't know how to express herself. Well, Stark is an individual, as I kind of briefly talked about, he's very naive. He's so naive, in fact, that he's easily led into situations to where he can lose all of his belongings thanks to someone else kind of enticing him into a gambling situation. So he's easily led on. There's problems within his character. Then if we look at, Frieren, she's our main character. As an individual, she's clearly flawed that, she is someone that doesn't understand the concept of time properly. She's trying to learn that, but she doesn't fully understand, like, 70 years to her is like a whole lifetime to other people. So it's just like, when you think about everything, every character has issues. They have flaws. And I just like the writing of the story for that, kind of showcasing, how these characters, thanks to their flaws, they come together and they help each other through their issues to better themselves as people. And I like that. I don't know. The organic nature of the Frieren show is so fun. And it's one of the big reasons why I think the show is blowing up, like why a lot of people are really starting to watch it now, is because people now are seeing clips of it. They're seeing either the clips of the Aura versus Frieren, moment and all that, and just like how cool that was and how cold-hearted it was, to seeing random clips of Frieren holding a bottle, and the memes that have come out about that is insane. But there's clearly a lot of love and passion put into this work, where the world is explored, it feels vibrant, it feels lived in, it doesn't feel like, the background is just there. And to give a better example of this, it's like when you have a story that is being written, okay? Obviously, our characters are put into this world, and the world is kind of like a canvas that they're moving on, okay? And it feels like the world of Frieren isn't necessarily just there to be there for our characters to exist in it. The world is moving as well. The world is constantly changing. The world is growing, evolving, de-evolving, everything. There is just continuous change within this world, and Frieren represents that. And obviously the theme of it is the passage of time. And I feel like a lot of people that have been watching the show now are starting to understand just how good the show is, just seeing all the time slowly tick on by while they're watching episodes, and realizing the main core themes of what the show really is trying to offer to its viewers. It obviously is comfy, but it can be very sad at some points. It can have some action at some points. There's a lot here to be explored, and I love that. And seeing Frieren just do this very innocent kiss and all that, it's just so funny. It's so funny. It's so cute. It's so adorable. I love it. I absolutely love Frieren's kiss here. But, yeah, overall, this episode of Frieren is legitimately good. It's a good episode. And, I mean, I feel like, having a new party member is a complete major plus to the entire story, because it means that we're going to have very different interactions besides just the Fern and Stark stuff. We're going to obviously have this character probably interacting with Frieren a lot more, and it does make me wonder if Frieren might ever get a potential romantic partner. Obviously, it's very clear she has feelings for, Heimel and all that, it's very obvious, okay? But I wonder if eventually she will find someone to be romantic with, and I wonder if this is the character or if there's going to be someone else that enters her life. I'm legit curious. I don't know if this is that type of story, but I wonder if it will tackle those issues of the passage of time and romance and love and all that, and, seeing someone around you die before you do. I wonder if it will talk about that. But I guess I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. May all of you have a fantastic day or night wherever you live. If you enjoyed this video and you loved what you watched, do leave me a like. It does help me out a lot. I'll see you all tomorrow for the next video I make. Stay healthy. Chibi out.